All right, so we're deciding to do something a little fun because I'm trying to get the crew into a little bit more gambling, and it's working. It's working slowly but surely. So like we're gonna do a thing like which Chargers bet you would place for the year. We're just gonna go through them. We've gone through some of these already, but just a little bit of refresher for the people and back. All right, so some bets that we're talking. If you want to go find these, are our great friends at BetMGM, the king of sportsbook. So first is over and under 9.5 wins for the Chargers is one of the bets they can get right now. 28 to 1 to win the Super Bowl, 16 to 1 to win the AFC, 3 to 1 to win the AFC West, 9 to 1 for our king, beautiful king, Justin Herbert to win MVP, and 25 to 1 for Brandon Staley to win Coach of the Year. And here's a weird one that I found. 7 to 1 for Herbert to have most passing touchdowns in the NFL, which I thought was very, very interesting. So just kind of which one kind of tickles your pickle here, Josh? Like, if you look at any of these bets, you're like, like just something that like kind of stands out to you the most, like going into the 2023 season for the Los Angeles Chargers. It's just like it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's the 9.5 wins. If the Chargers don't get at least 11 wins, like I said, it's a huge disappointment. You got one of the worst ran organizations with the Raiders. You have a Broncos team who has a quarterback that forgot to play football, and you have a Chargers team that's absolutely stacked from top to bottom. Biased, Chargers have a top 5 roster in the NFL. If you can't get double-digit wins with the top 5 roster in the NFL and a top 5 quarterback, then we have major issues. The Chargers, to me, if you don't make it into the second or third round of the playoffs, you is a failure of a season. This team is way too good to not, go far this season. The Chargers get 9 wins. You get rid of Staley. You get rid of tons of players on the team because obviously it's not working. So to me, 9.5 wins is a joke. I think that's an easy bet, and I am going to make the bet. Chargers are going to have at least 11 wins.
I'm with Josh. There are 2 of them I like on here. I like the over-under wins. 9.5 is too low. That's where my money would go. And the other one, I said it on the show. I'm picking Herbert to win MVP this year. I think Kellen Moore and Herbert going to be a great combination. And I did pick Herbert to win MVP. All the other ones scare me.
Okay, so I think the AFC West one, bearing injury. Like, we're just to be honest, I think it's bearing injury with the Chiefs. Like, it's some Kelsey or Mahomes have to go down, I think, for that one.
Exactly.
Would you guys say that?
100%.
Yep.
Yeah. And then, like, the Super Bowl and AFC, Super Bowl winning the AFC, I think that's luck of the draw in the playoffs. It's like, what seed did you get? If you have to go through the Bengals or the Bills, huge difference. You know, if you go through the Bills, I'll live. Bengals, I'm going to crap my pants, Like, it's just like it's in there.
Why would you make any bet? Why would you make any bet in the AFC if you're not the Chiefs? Even if you're the Bengals, why would you make any bet of you winning the AFC? It's just so ridiculously hard. You have the top quarterbacks all together. Why would anybody make that bet? As a Charger fan, I would never make that bet. What have I seen from the Chargers that would make me confident that they're going to go far in the AFC? Nothing.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert's never won a playoff game. That's my hardest thing during this offseason for all you Charger fans. I know you're doing the same thing. You talk about how great Justin Herbert is as somebody else. How many playoff wins does he have? And your argument's over. You just have to leave. So there's nothing that makes me believe the Chargers are going to do well in the AFC, but I obviously want them to.
I mean, you have 2 quarterbacks in the AFC, my opinion, that are better than even Justin Herbert. I think Justin Herbert ends up better numbers, but Mahomes and Burrow, I would take over Justin Herbert right now. And then I would take Herbert over Josh Allen. But Herbert for me is number 3 in the AFC.
I've seen people put Herbert as low as 6. They're saying they would take Lamar Jackson over him. They take Aaron Rodgers over him, and I wouldn't. But
those are
that's
people
what
who
you
don't
see
watch
everywhere.
Charger games. Yeah, they don't watch. They don't watch.
They're on the East Coast.
Like we watch. Yeah, they don't know.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things where it's the casual, because Herbert falls in the category of one of those players where it's like the diehard guys that watch football. They watch a football game on Sunday, they rewatch it, right? And then there's the casual fans who I'm going to catch by every other game on the weekend. Like I'll miss my flight to watch a game. You're not like you know what I'm saying? Like there's a difference. I think the heavy people will go. The things that Herbert can do are exceptional. The casual will go playoff wins. Like that's all I see is playoff wins, playoff wins, playoff wins. I think that's a category that like Herbert gets kind of screwed by. Yeah.
But see, that bothers me because I grew up with Phillip Rivers, who was the same thing. Phillip Rivers is what, top 5 all time in yards and touchdowns with the horrible playoff record for the most part. It sucks, man, that we're going through the same thing all over again with the guy in Justin Herbert that you'd say is twice as talented as Philip Rivers is, but yet has not won a playoff game. And I know it's a casual thing to say if you don't know much about football, but at the same time, it does come down to playoff wins. It's just the worst part about being a Charger fan. We cannot get it done when it matters most.
I got no argument for it.
Yeah. Chris Paul's situation too.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good comparison. Chris Paul, man, always seems to either not play well or get hurt every time when it's most important. For me with the Chargers, by the way, if they don't make it to the AFC Championship game, you got to make changes. I mean, Josh, you said it, the roster's too good. You just got to say for what it is. You aren't playing up to your potential. You aren't playing up to what it says on paper, what you should do. And so it's interesting all the way around. This division's going to be interesting to see what happens with Russell Wilson and the Broncos and their new head coach. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Raiders, who I honestly believe are taking a dive this year so they can get the number 1 pick and get their quarterback, get the Heisman Trophy winner, and Caleb Williams, who a lot of people are saying is Patrick Mahomes, which changes the Raiders if he is for the next 15 years. And you go, are you going to eat it if you're that one team in the league? Now, Josh Jacobs, came out today and said, hey, don't expect to see me in training camp until I get my contract taken care of. You aren't going to see me. He's in the same situation Saquon Barkley's in, of saying, hey, pay me. This is what it is. And we've talked about this before with running backs. Is the running back position the worst position to play in the NFL as far as getting taken care of? The Charger fans know what happened a few months ago with Austin Eckler. Wasn't happy. And guess what? Austin Eckler still is in a situation where he's probably still not 100% happy. He thought I've played well enough to get a huge contract, not just enough money to keep me quiet for one more year. So it's interesting all the way around of what happened. So that being said, speaking of running backs, because Josh says it every single show, he doesn't like the backup running back situation for the Chargers. Are you guys surprised that both Dalvin Cook and Ezekiel Elliott don't have teams as of today when we do the show on July 16th?
I'm surprised Dalvin Cook doesn't, because he's still a top running back. Ezekiel Elliott to me is not that great, but Dalvin Cook
is a backup. Would you take Ezekiel as a backup for?
I would. Would Ezekiel Elliott want to be a backup running back? I don't think he would.
Yeah, how much would that cost?
Well, right now, no one else is knocking on the door. As far as we know, no one else is knocking on the door. I mean, the deal is if he comes to the Los Angeles Chargers, guess what? He already knows the offense.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah, the Joe Mixon thing was weird. I don't know. The whole running back thing just makes you feel uncomfortable talking about it, because you feel bad for these guys like Austin Eckler. Him coming out the other day saying that the backup wide receivers make more money than I do, you're like, oh, gosh, that's hard to hear. Then you have half the Charger fans out there that are like, shut up and play. So
that's me. That's me.
Yeah.
Don't sign a contract if you aren't going to live up to it. Nobody wants to hear you talk about your money. Nobody wants to hear that. Season ticket holders don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. No one wants to hear it. No one makes the money Eckler makes. Now, look, I understand his career is cut short because he's an NFL player and he can't work till 65 and get the gold watch when he retires. This is the path you chose. Nobody wants to hear you complain about money. I don't care how much money you lose in taxes and living in California, everything else. We don't care. We just care about wins, and we want to see effort. For you to sit there and come out with that statement shows me you aren't all in. Your brain is somewhere else right now, going into a really important season.
What do you think about his argument? Receivers get paid a ton of money. I have more catches than receivers do. I should get paid more like Deebo Samuel.
Fine, he's not wrong, but keep that in house. Go say that to Tom Telesco. Go say that to Dean Spanos. Don't tell us that. Who are you talking to? No, again, nobody wants to hear that. I'm trying not to swear right now, but honestly, God, we just don't care. Do you care? Does it really bother you if either one of you lost sleep because Austin Eckler's not getting paid what he wants?
No, I don't. I don't lose sleep. Austin Eckler has amounted to 0 playoff wins as a Charger.
Yeah, that's the number right there. We want to talk numbers, Austin. Let's talk about playoff wins. You show me your ring, Austin, that you got for me. I'll show you my ring. You show me your ring. And then we're going to walk down the hallway and look at the Lombardi trophy that doesn't exist in the trophy case. Otherwise, go out there and live up to your contract and play as hard as you can. That's all. Enough. Shut your mouth.
And okay, but in his defense, like if I was working somewhere and guy next, I'm trying to think of this in radio terms. My morning show does better numbers than his afternoon show, and he's doesn't work for a lot of the year, and he gets paid 2 times more than I get paid, I have a big mouth. I'm gonna be spewing it out to every freaking podcast, every show I go on. I'm gonna mention it a little bit. Just devil's advocate. I get where he's coming from. I'm sitting next to Mike Williams. I'm sitting next to Keenan Allen, and I'm seeing what they're getting paid. I'm like, your production's not even matching close to mine, and I affect 2 parts of the offense, rushing and receiving. I understand the frustration. Do I think he's going to get the money anywhere? Probably not, because we're just in this standstill of running backs getting screwed after getting screwed. But the fact in the Barkley thing, Sean Marash, New York radio guy, says the deal is going to be done by tomorrow. That's like a common thing apparently in New York right now. It's going to get done. We'll see. If that's right, then everyone can tweet at me saying nice take. If that's wrong, tweet at Sean Marash. That's Sean with the H, SHAUN. Marash is MORASH, and just be a little mean. Like, hey, you're an idiot. That's all I got.
Okay, here's the deal. You chose the wrong position. If you're that upset about it, I remember this again. I don't know if you guys remember. Remember Jimmy Graham from the Saints, the tight end, who
From
argued
Bears.
it. Yeah, and the Bears and the Seahawks and the Packers and everywhere else he went that he got worse and worse. Do you remember when he went to arbitration and he said he wanted this amount of money, and he said, I catch more passes than any tight end out there, and the guy's like, wait a second, what position did you say you play? And then they went and compared his contract to tight ends, not to wide receivers, to tight ends, and he got less money. And it was on his Twitter bio that he was the tight end, and he got less money. If Austin Eckler was listed as a wide receiver, then he'd be slotted for more money. But he's listed as a running back, and this is the game. This is what it pays. And as fans, as we just saw you lose to Jacksonville after that huge lead, it wasn't Austin Eckler's fault, but guess what? You were on the team. Enough. 0 playoff wins. Stop talking. Just go play. I'm burnt out. I'm really disappointed that he's made this public, that he should keep this in the locker room. If not even in the locker room, don't bring it in the poison in there. Literally go down the hallway. Tom Telesco's not a big guy. You can intimidate him. Go ahead.
But okay, but like you're again counter that. It's not like he's on going F the Chargers, F the city of LA. I threw away my gear today. You know, he's posting a video of him lighting the freaking charge house. Like, he's not doing any of that stuff. He's not, liking tweets or taking charges out of the bio or the Allen Robinson crap. Like, he's not doing anything like that. He's saying, I love playing for this team. I love being in LA. I love everyone there. I believe in Staley. I believe in Telesco, blah, blah, blah. I just want to be paid more. Like, I think that's a more respectful way to go about it than going – Darren Ravel tweets, why is Chargers taking out his bio? Why is he liking tweets of people saying you should go to the Bills? Like, if it's anything like that, then I'd be like, dude, come on. Like, let's just be grown-ups. I'm 24 years old. I'm immature as hell. But let's be, like, kind of grown-ups about it. Like, don't be liking that. Don't be doing all that shady stuff on social media. And he didn't. He was very upfront about that. So that's the part where I think I'd, like, respect that more than being, like, I like to tweet saying the Chargers are dumb like that. Let's get out of here.
It's been 7 months, though, Mario. He's been complaining for 7 months. They even gave him $1.5 million more to stop complaining, and he's still complaining, which I was completely against giving him that money.
Yeah, he'll probably complain until he puts the pads on in training camp. Like, that's just what it is.
I hope it ends. Why do you think it's going to end? I think we're going to listen to this guy talk in November if he has a good year.
Because we're in freaking July 16th, and it's that – LeBron James changed his number from 6 to 23 was an actual alert I got on my phone as breaking news today. Like, that's just where we're at in sports right now. So, like, if he just even whispers that he's underpaid, like, that's going to get out. It's going to get out. We're in a dead week of news right now. It's not going to come out during the season. I bet you that 110%.
I hope so. It's been 7 months, and we did not finish the season well, actually with a horrible taste in our mouth. And now, to me, he's starting the season with a grudge on a chip on his shoulder. I don't know. I'm frustrated listening to Austin Eckler complain. From a guy that I liked a lot to a guy that really I'm frustrated with right now. Stop talking. Sorry. And by the way, I do have an opinion on LeBron James, okay? This is what the
Okay,
NBA
let's
should
hear
do
it.
and make LeBron pay for it if you want. Everyone who bought a number 6 James jersey should be able to change that jersey in for a 23. That is ridiculous. Okay. You keep changing your number 23 to 6 to 23 just on one team. Go ahead. The NBA should do the right thing, or the Lakers or LeBron, and reimburse every fan who bought a number 6 jersey. Because when it's all said and done, it's going to be a 23 jersey up in the rafters at Staples Center, and it's not going to be a number 6 jersey. And I'm really happy as a Kobe fan that it's not going to be a 6 and a 23. It's just going to be one number because LeBron doesn't deserve 2 numbers retired for the Lakers.
Josh, quick question though. Would you do that? Because let's think about like kids our age. Like, how much cooler of a jersey is the Kobe 8 jersey than the Kobe 24 jersey?
The Kobe 8 jersey is my favorite, but I think
Me
you
too.
might know why
Yes.
he's. I think you might know why he's. I think he switched numbers because
Yeah,
the whole thing
yeah.
happened, and he wanted it
Yeah,
a new
I
image
forgot
kind of
about
thing.
that.
The LeBron thing bothers me. I know it's an NFL show, but LeBron picking 23 has to be one of the biggest regrets of his life. He's already his own great player. Why would you pick the same number as Jordan? You could have created your own number. Do 19. Could have been the greatest 19 of all time.
Yeah. That's a good
It's
point.
an ugly number. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything.
Not
It's
bad
one.
number.
Just ego. Go all ego. I'm going number 1.
Yeah, he already has chosen one on his back. Just go
Yeah,
number
literally
one.
has 100 right.
Ooh,
100% right. Yeah.
I couldn't have done that one.
Anyway, there you go. Yeah, and I have no problem talking Lakers, by the way, for the fact I guarantee you Charger fans listen to this are Laker fans too. All right, real quick. I want to hammer through
burn in hell.
real quick. I want to hammer through this. The NFL executives, they rated the top running backs in the league. I always like these a lot, by the way. I remember a few years ago, it's 20 years ago. It was like if you could pick any player in the league to start your franchise with, who would it be? That was my favorite one. But it couldn't be a quarterback. And they all picked like Jonathan Ogden. They all picked one of the left tackle, which was crazy. I think that was 20 years ago that one. But this one's NFL executives are rated the top running backs in the league. I want to throw the list at you, and you guys tell me if you agree or not. Okay, we'll see where Austin Eckler is on this list. Number 1 was Nick Chubb of the Browns. See the top running back to you guys?
He's right there. He's really good.
No argument, right?
Chubby. Yep.
Yeah. A year ago at this time, by the way, I would have said Jonathan Taylor far and away.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Christian McCaffrey. He was dead. Now he's back.
I don't think he's the second best, but he's really good.
I
still think Derrick Henry's the second best.
Yeah. You can make an argument. I think McCaffrey being number 2 is a benefit of having your head coach be an absolute mastermind of the run game. That helps you a lot. That kind of takes you a couple notches.
So, by the way, Nick Chubb was number 6 in 2022. Now he's number 1. McCaffrey was number 7. Now he's number 2. Josh Jacobs was honorable mention. Wasn't even on the list a year ago in 2022. Now he's number 3. Led the NFL in rushing. Does that surprise you?
No, I think he's the third best running back.
Third best running back. The person below him that you're going to get to, I'd put at number 2.
Saquon Barkley?
I'd put him at 2.
What about you? What about you, Josh?
I mean, I don't hate that. I just hate his team, and he gets hurt too often for me. That's why Christian McCaffrey I'm not a huge fan of. I can't depend on them.
It's one of the reasons I love Austin Eckler, honestly, is that Eckler doesn't get hurt the way Saquon Barkley gets hurt.
What, Mario? G-Man get you?
Just that team sucks. So
yeah, okay.
JC Hasenhauer, who we're going to have on the show, is great. He's on that team, but the rest of the team sucks.
That's my first question to him. Josh probably says hates guys.
That's funny. Number 5 is Derrick Henry. Last year, he was ranked number 1.
I think when everybody's healthy, and the knock would be what I just said, maybe he gets hurt, but when everybody's healthy, he's right there at the top as the best running back in the NFL. I think he's 1 or 2.
I agree with that.
Yeah. He's top 5. I think this might be a perfect placement. I'm just really interested to see when he when the wheels fall off. I'm really interested to see we kind of saw it last year, but there are still times okay, never mind. But I'm interested to see when the tires really come off on him.
You know why I have him rated so high is because I think if you ask defensive players who's the one running back you don't want to face on Sunday, I think they would tell you it's Derrick Henry.
Mm-hmm.
He just puts a beating on your body. Now here's one to me that surprising, Mario, and it's right in your backyard because he was one of those automatics, everyone's first pick in fantasy, football. It was Jonathan Taylor. Matt Ryan comes in. It's a mess with the coach. It's a mess with Matt Ryan. It's a mess with ownership. It was a whole disaster with the Colts last year, but Jonathan Taylor disappeared. So he's number 6 on the list. What's the book on Jonathan Taylor right now where you are?
He's kind of, if you ask every Colts fan, there's the excitement of AR, and then there's the question mark of what's going to be Taylor in 2023. Like, is he going to be Taylor 2021? Is he going to be Taylor 2022? Like, what's going to happen? Obviously, they have the highest paid O-line in the NFL, and they were a huge letdown this year. Side note, I just farted, and it smells so bad when I plug my nose, and I still think Jonathan Taylor stunk more this year than that. Like, I'm not a big Jonathan Taylor guy. I think he reminds me of Jordan Howard a little bit. That was that stud running back for the Bears that broke like a Walter Payton record for him. And guess what? He's out of the league right now, or a practice player. Like, I think that's what Jonathan Taylor is. Like, it does nothing for me. I would not. 6 is really high to put him up there with top running backs. I'm not big on him at all. I tell Colts fans all the time, if you're excited about him to be big this year, I think you should downplay your excitement.
Number 7 on the list is Alvin Kamara. He was number 5 last year. Where do you see Kamara? You talk about wheels possibly coming off. Kamara is that guy that I always think the wheels are going to come off, but then his numbers are always pretty good. What do you think about Kamara?
Alvin Kamara is not a top 10 running back in the league at this point in time. He had 2 running touchdowns last year and 2 receiving touchdowns. He's usually the big production guy, like you said, but last season it wasn't there. So how could he be in your top whatever if he doesn't score any touchdowns? And his off the field issues, who knows like where his head's at right now. I wouldn't rely on Alvin Kamara for anything this upcoming season.
Between everything you're saying, wouldn't want to see him in the A gap though, would not want to see him outside of the football field because at both times I think I'd get hurt.
Next up on the list, number 8, who's number 4 a year ago. He doesn't have a team right now. It's Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, he's probably like the 8th best running back in the NFL, I'd say.
I think I'd take Pollard over him.
I would too. I was going to get to that. Tony Pollard, I think, is better than a lot of the guys we said already.
Wait. No, it's Tony Pollard. It says Troy on here. Sorry. I don't know who wrote that. Tony Pollard, unranked in 2022. Mara, did you write that or did I write that?
It certainly is not Josh, and it was not me.
Okay. I guess I messed that up.
All right. So, high school with go ahead.
So Pollard, though, remember, got hurt in the playoff game a year ago. So where's Pollard as far as where he's at, and where's Pollard going to be as far as to help the Cowboys? Pollard's one of those guys, in my opinion, was the best running back on the Cowboys roster for the last few years, but they were paying Ezekiel Elliott so much money that Ezekiel's the one that they try to make every situation where it worked out for Ezekiel. But I think everyone, including Pollard's teammates, knew that he was the better running back.
Yeah, 100% agree with what you said. Watching Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard was like when the Rams had Todd Gurley, and it was just sad. You're like, this is not the best running back on the team. It's weird looking. Tony Pollard has been the best running back on the Cowboys for the last few years.
Yep, it has been. So I don't disagree there. And then number 10 is the guy we've been waiting for, probably the name that I think most Charger fans have been waiting for. It's Austin Eckler. Honorable mention 2022. Again, he's a guy that's a first-round pick in fantasy football. His numbers are great. Even though he doesn't like his title, he does a lot of things that wide receivers don't. Extremely dangerous. If you're preparing for the Chargers, you have to know where Austin Eckler is at all times, right? You need to know where number 30 is all times if you're a defense going against the Chargers that week, and prepare as your defensive team, knowing how big of a part of the offense that he is. But Eckler's in the top 10. And so it's amazing, though, guys, how we look at this list. Again, this list is put together by NFL executives. ESPN ran it, so I want to give them credit for it. But to show you how this position changes so quickly, Todd Gurley won an MVP, and a year later, he's a bust in the NFL. This position changes extremely fast.
Yeah. Fun fact, Austin Eckler's never rushed for 1,000 yards, and that shocks me when I was looking at his stats. I thought for sure with all the carries he gets, he'd have 1,000 yards. Never had 1,000 yards. I don't think Austin Eckler is one of the top running backs if you're going to talk about just running the football. Overall football player, I think he's like top 5 non-quarterback in the league.
All right.
100%.
one of you
sorry.
guys, you have a calculator by you on your phone, Josh? You get your phone?
Yeah.
Divide 17 into 1,000. How many yards is that a game that you need?
58.8.
58. 58. Yeah, that's not exactly great preparing podcast wise, but I also didn't announce that I farted on the show either, so I think I get a pass. So 58 yards a game, that's nothing, right? 58 yards is nothing. It used to be a big deal that this guy ran for 100 yards in this game. 58 yards. Eckler doesn't average 58 yards a game.
It's shocking.
Yeah,
Shocking. Over 200 carries in a season. You think for sure you'd have 1,000 yards rushing.
yep. There you go.
Still tied for second for most rush touchdowns in 2022 though, which I think is kind of interesting. Because wouldn't you imagine that'd be low if he has low rushing yards? Like you'd imagine that'd be pretty low.
If I didn't watch the games, I would agree with you. But since I watched, the Chargers always give it to him on the goal line. I know why. Justin Herbert has to be like, get this guy out of here. No, he probably loves him. But I mean, Justin Herbert's probably thinking, dude, I'd have 45 touchdowns if he didn't give it to Austin Eckler every time when we get close. But they score usually, so it works out.
There you go. All right. Before we get on out of here, is this weird? I always like the is this weird? What's going on through Mario's head?
So this one. So like I said, I was on vacation with my family. Like a lot of my family. Oh, I got two now because I just remember the other one I wanted to say. So I got two of them, and like I said, I love my family. Like God bless my family. Like whatever, love them and everything. Being the youngest of 5 in a big family that's got 2 women of a sister and a mother who are very overly protective and overbearing in my life in many ways. Them going up to every girl that looks a little bit like my age and talking to them and saying my whole life story of social life gets pretty freaking weird and pretty freaking annoying. To the point where I'm like, hey, sister, why don't you shut your little mouth a little bit? Like, dude, we're taking – this is kind of be funny, but I might have to beep it out. But I'm in photos. We're doing family photos for like the freaking 20th year in a row because why not? And as we're taking the photo, they're like, everyone's getting like with the couples and everything. And I'm like pretty banged up. I'm like, all right, here comes mine. I was like, this will be a headshot for work. And I go up there. And as soon as I go up there, my mom and my sister tell the photographer why me and my past 2 girlfriends didn't work out. And then she was like, "Oh, honey, I'm so sorry for what happened." I go, first off, I'm okay, and 2, sister and mother go drown in the ocean really quickly. Like, shut the blank up. So that's pretty nice. So being in a big family, that's really really fun.
What's the age difference of you and your sister? What's the age difference?
7 years. She's 30. 6 or 7
Okay.
years. So one of the 2. Yeah. She's about as nuts as they come.
But she's married.
Yeah.
But
She's married.
Okay.
That poor guy. What that man goes through every day. I almost said his name. He told me not to say his name. But he listens to the pods. Shout out to him. What that man goes through every day with living with I love my sister. But living with that, shout out to him. That's a lot going on every day. A lot to digest every day. But
going on.
Yeah. The second one, is that weird that I want kids, but every day I spend with my nieces and nephew that I love, another year gets added before I want one. So originally I was to start having kids at 30. We're looking at about 42 right now. I think 42 until I start pumping out the 5 kids. But yeah, it's going to be a minute.
I think that's good for society that you're willing to wait.
Yeah.
Just keep wait until you're ready. Wait until you're ready.
Josh, when do you want kids? You're engaged. You got the steps up.
Dude, my fiance's pregnant.
Really?
No.
Oh.
Dude, don't think I wasn't holding my breath right there.
Nah, dude, she's not pregnant. I want kids probably like 2026 is when I want to have my first child. 2026. That's the goal. So we'll see. I'm 29, so I'll be like 33, 32.
You can't really have the process into having a kid until after you're married. So you still got to win on that, you know?
2024, I'll be married. You going to show up?
Yeah, I'll be there naked.
Well, now you're uninvited.
Yeah, you're not invited anymore.
Are you bringing June as your plus one?
Dude, I mean, the track I'm on, I'll bring Mama June. We'll have a good time.
Oh my God.
The honest opinion of what they think of everyone. It'll be funny. I'll say, June, pop off, Queen.
All right. We'll wrap it up, man. This is completely off the rails. All right. We'll be back real soon, actually. We'll have another show coming up real soon. We aren't going anywhere. We're going to be talking a lot of Charger football with you. We'll see if Austin Eckler mouse off before we come back. But if he does, we'll talk about that too. But again, we'll be back talking Charger football with you. Thanks again for watching on YouTube. And of course, if you listen through the Odyssey app, again, thanks to Odyssey as well. Again, Bolt City Podcast. Josh Pele, Mario Heron. I'm Dave Pele. We'll talk to you next time.